In this video, I'm going to give you what Andrew Tate said to me and how he basically destroyed me. And this will serve you tremendously if you want to become truly free and successful. You want to live a great life. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur and you're anything like me, this is going to serve you tremendously. I'm not only going to tell you about this thing with Andrew Tate, which is going to allow you to realize some things that I realized myself as well, that will fast track your progress toward your goals, like 10x, 100x. It will change the person that you are right now. And by the way, this is not a video where there's going to be a lot of edits, as you have already seen that. So if you have a short attention span, it's not for you, right? You want to go click and scroll on TikTok, go ahead, right? This is going to be a one-to-one conversation, just like you were talking to a human being, and this is actually going to serve you more and allow you to actually focus, to actually implement the things that you're going to learn in this video. So in here, I'm also going to give you, I'm also going to tell you what being in the room with Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio feels like. I haven't been in one, right? But I actually I heard someone, and it made me imagine, and it gives you some perspective that's going to serve you if you want to become successful. And I'm also going to tell you the 10 simple things that will help you know exactly what you must do to succeed in your situation. These are like questions and things to think about that are going to allow you to have like just a natural path towards your success. And I'm also going to give you the lessons that I got from the greatest in history, and also from Quentin Tarantino, right? The movie director. I'm going to give you this, and it's going to allow you to be motivated forever, right? It's going to allow you to have internal drive. It's not really motivation, like just short, quick motivation. It's going to allow you to have deep drive, just like kind of Andrew Tate has, right? He has a deep-rooted drive, and I'm going to deconstruct this and give you the actual framework to know exactly what is going to be for you, right? What will drive you to actually become successful and become successful for good. If any of this interests you and you want to become truly free and successful, this is all I talk about here on this channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Ivaldi, Sako. I'm the founder of alreadygrowth.com, and here, that's what I do. I help ambitious entrepreneurs build an empire, live a great life, and trying to get to, Andrew Tate's level, even though it's kind of hard, right? So if this interests you, hey, subscribe. You're welcome here. And you're one of the few people that actually find this valuable. One of the few people that are actually able to see the kind of value that I provide here. So, hey, it's going to be tremendously useful to you. By the way, I'm French, right? So bear with me, but it's going to be tremendously useful to you. So let's get into it, right? So, first thing, Andrew Tate just completely when I thought of this, I was completely ashamed. I was, I took this like a hit, right? And sometimes this is what it takes to actually, this is the pain that you need to actually move forward. I was listening to the Janko episode after he did his episode with Andrew Tate, right? The one where he reflects on it and he tells you about how Andrew Tate is, right? And how he, for example, when Tristan Tate comes and sees George from afar, and then he looks at him completely serious, then he looks at the man, talks to him, and then he looks back, and then he goes and says hi to George, right? They are at a very, very high level. And he was talking about how he gets a lot of things done very fast. He drinks 15 cups of coffee. Now, I don't think this is good, but he just seems to be performing pretty well. And the way Janko spoke about Andrew Tate made me I was like, how in the world can someone be spoken about in this frame? He's almost looked at as a hero, right? And maybe you look up to him as a hero, right? You look up to him, and it's normal. I look up to him as well. Not in everything that he does, right? I don't think sleeping with multiple women is a good thing, but there's a lot of things that I agree with. He's good in business, and I come from the business part, right? I don't consume too much of social media. I just liked Janko, and so I was like, I'm going to listen to some of this stuff. And on this video, he talked about this, and this made me like, I imagine myself, and I challenge you right now to imagine yourself, who you are right now in your room, in the same room with Andrew Tate, with Tristan Tate. Imagine yourself. Imagine yourself having a conversation with him and trying to be like, not someone like a fan of him, but kind of be on his level, right? Try to think of this. Can you imagine this? It's very hard, right? It's very hard to imagine this and be at the same level. I can't, like, I know if I'm with him in the same room, I'm not going to have the level of energy, the level of charisma, the level of, like, he's very, very, very good and intense. He's just, he is really powerful, right? And when you imagine yourself trying to compete with that, not that you want to beat Andrew Tate, but trying to be in the same like realm, right? Trying to be in the same level and be able to speak with him like he was a friend to you, right? This is very hard to do. Why? Because you are, I'm talking to myself when I say you, I'll just give you advice. I'm talking to myself, right? This podcast is basically me just documenting the journey of me trying to grow a big business and becoming a great, successful entrepreneur. This is just me documenting the process, just so that when I look back on this stuff, I was like, I will be like, I come from afar right now. Like right now, what you see right now is just, it's nothing, right? I'm in my Porsche right now, right? So it's okay, right? I'm in my Porsche. No, it's a Ferrari. I'm kidding, right? And you can see where I'm at right now, and in the future, you can see where I'll end up. And in this moment, it will make sense how much these episodes are valuable. But anyway, imagine yourself with Andrew Tate. What do you like to be at his level? Imagine yourself like, I would be just so small compared to him. Not only in size, because he's pretty big, but he's a pretty big dude, yeah. But also in energy. He's got an energy that most people don't have. Maybe he's cheating with the caffeine, right? But I think you have to imagine this scenario and ask yourself, okay, who do I need to become to be in this room and have the same level of energy? To be in this room and not be just obviously nobody compared to him. And this really like just hit me. I was like, Andrew Tate in my mind when I was in this room with him, I imagined myself, right? And he told, like, this said to me that he just is so much more powerful, right? And mind you, just imagine that he is going after the Matrix, right? And how much more powerful are these guys, right? Andrew Tate is a fraction of their power, has a fraction of their power, right? This makes you think and makes you feel insignificant, right? I felt insignificant because of Andrew Tate. I felt insignificant when I was thinking of myself in these rooms. And I was listening to another podcast of a French guy named Yomi Denzel. He was talking with a guy that was in the same room, and he was actually like a good friend. He's the best friend of Jamie Foxx. And he's oftentimes with Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio. And one time he took a vacation and a big trip to Cabo, and he was telling you how he felt. Like, he's making already tens of millions of dollars. Like the dude on the podcast, he's making already tens of millions of dollars. But he's telling you like he's got to another level, and it makes you feel small. So right now in your life, you have some circumstances. You have right now an environment, a physical environment, a social environment, the people that you hang out with. For example, for me, I'm at the gym. I've been in the same gym for the past 8 years, and I'm kind of like at the highest level of like people at the gym, right? People see me and they see I'm pretty disciplined. I have my business. I'm making money, a little bit at least of money, and they can sense that. And yesterday I was speaking with a new guy that I just spoke with, and he was telling me, we were just getting to know each other, and then I was telling him, okay, well, I have an online business, and I don't tell him like exactly what I told him I work online, right? And he told me, oh yeah, what do you do? I have a business online and I do this and this, right? And he was, oh, okay, and all right, I can see that. I can see that you're very disciplined. You can sense that. And so I'm at the higher tier of this like level of group, right? But if I just take like myself from this gym, and I take myself in a room with Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio, or with Andrew Tate, I'm no one, right? And so you have to upgrade the level of groups that you hang out with, and this is pretty hard to do. But the only way you can do this is by actually like taking in this pain, realizing this, taking it in, and working to become better, seeing what you like, right? And so when the guy on the French podcast, right, he was telling him about his vacation with Jamie and Leo, and he said that this vacation he was like on a private boat. No, on a private yacht, of course, on a private yacht. And by the way, he didn't pay for anything, right? He's friend with Jamie Foxx. He just didn't pay for anything, even though he makes tens of millions of dollars, right? They were on a yacht, right? And on the yacht, there's a helicopter that comes and places itself on the yacht, right? There's a place for it, right? And they take this helicopter, they go to the airport, they take a private jet, and a big private jet that costs a lot of money, and just one flight costs like 400K, right? And they go from there, they go to a big, just insane mansion in Cabo, like I think it's toward Mexico. And they have just a big, insane party. And these vacations cost, like it doesn't, like if you can take big vacations, like just insane things, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And this amount of money I cannot afford right now, right? And most people watching this cannot as well. But these vacations didn't cost $100,000 per month. They cost tens of millions of dollars, right? And so you are in rooms with people that have like a very, very tight circle, people that are very, very wealthy and powerful. And when you can transpose yourself from your current environment and where you are currently to where you should be, right? Where you want to be. And in this big, insane, successful power, aside from these successful people, you realize your inadequacies, right? You realize what you lack. Once you realize what you like, all you need to do is actually work on these weaknesses, right? And I'm going to tell you how to reveal these to you. And these are the 10 things that I'm going to, I just thought about these things and I wrote them down. As soon as I thought about them during this week, I wrote them down and I'm going to give them to you. So I wrote them down for me, right? But they're going to be pretty useful to you if you want to go to the place that I want to go to, right? Becoming really successful and truly free, right? Freeing yourself from the matrix, right? 1, you have to give up things to go up, right? What are the things that you need to give up, basically, right now? You go too much on social media. That's pretty much a certainty for 90% of the people watching this video. You eat like shit. What are the things that you need to give up and that you like in order to go up? 2, in order to change your life, you need to change the things you do. What are the things that you're doing right now that you need to change? It's kind of the same thing. You need to give up some things, but it's some things that you need to change them. You don't need to just stop doing them, you need to replace them with something better. What are these things, right? And by the way, if you don't ask yourself these questions with the intent of actually finding the answers and trying to journal on them, right? Write your answers, it's not going to work out, right? So you got to actually implement these. In order to change your life, you need to change the things that you do. Or, number 3, you have to have patience. If you're already doing the right things and the hard things. So for me, this is the thing. I'm already doing the right things. I just need to be patient and be persistent. Keep doing them. And this can be an advantage for you. If you are able to not give up, no matter the circumstances, you just keep going. No matter what happens, no matter the results, keep going. Just be that guy that never gives up. You can actually get there just because of this. Because if you don't give up, at one point you're just going to find a way, because it's going to be too painful to stay at the same place. With all of the things that you're doing right now and you're still in the same place, it's going to be very painful for you. And so you're going to have to find a way to actually get there. And because you have to, you're going to. 4, you can't outlast, this is something that I heard listening to a motivational speaker, maybe Inky, I don't remember the speakers. You can't outlast your old you long enough to get to your new you. Let that sink in. You can't outlast the old you long enough to get to your new you. And this hit me because I was like, yeah, that's true. The old me is coming back. The old me is trying to get distracted again, to eat like shit again. It's trying to do the things slowly and just not be too, when I just get a little bit of success, I get cozy, right? I get another client, boom. I get cozy, I get relaxed. But this is not the new me. You need to change yourself, right? And so when you change yourself, you have your old self that is trying to come back. And you can't outlast him. You need to outlast him in order for you to get your new you for good and to be that person and not go back. Number 5, I wrote down this, and you take this as you will, and you do with it whatever you want. I wrote this for me, and it actually is the truth, right? The more I pray, the more I accept God's will, and I detach from the need of making a lot of money right now, and to make more money to achieve a certain thing, right? The more I detach from this need and I actually attach myself to God's will, which is the best anyway, the more money I make. Every single week this happened. For the past 4 weeks, I've been trying to really accept God's will and not force things to happen and not be attached and not be just completely just so frustrated because I'm not getting it right now. I've been making more money. My business has been growing because of this. Just because of this, I'm telling you. And if you're wondering, I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I think this is the right religion. I think Andrew Tate is really wrong about it. He's just I mean, this is why I'm Christian, right? Now, I do respect, right, the religion that actually stands for something, right? But I think Christianity is the way to go. I know that. I have certainty because at one point you have to try to believe first before you can actually experiment. But when you believe, make this act of believing first, then the proofs come, right? And I've got my proofs now. I've got my proofs in my life. I know every time I pray, I get answers. Every time I do something with God's will in mind and I put God first, I actually get to my goals, right? I actually make more money because I put money not as a end-all be-all thing. It's this is a mean to do God's will, right? And when this is the case and you are thinking in this way and going in this direction, God opens up insane things for you, insane opportunities for you. Number 6, start planning what you consume during the week. Have some time to find great pieces of content, great movies, great books to listen to, and just make a plan. This week, I'm not going to consume anything that comes to me, that the algorithm feeds me, right? Because this way you can just get brainwashed, right? You can just be brainwashed in the worst case, but just get distracted. So the best thing to do is just to actually control that and have some playlist that, okay, for example, you watch YouTube videos, you make a playlist of good videos that you want to watch, things that will actually help you to go toward your goals, solve a problem, solve an issue, things that you need to learn, and you consume proactively, intentionally, right? And when you do this, you don't waste your time. And because I was thinking about this because I'm just like, how much time do you spend consuming content? How much time does it take you to read a book? You might as well read a really good book and pay attention to the book that is going to actually serve you, right? Now don't let this prevent you from starting to read books, right? If you just don't read too much, go ahead and read. It's just a good habit just to actually do the action of reading. But you might as well just read good books, right? And start consuming proactively instead of mindlessly. And stop scrolling. Just stop scrolling in general. 7. What am I doing that successful people don't do? That is preventing me from succeeding. What is it that you are right now doing that successful people don't do? Maybe they don't sleep in the morning. Once the alarm clock just goes off, they wake up immediately, right? They don't sleep in. Maybe it's staying disciplined. Maybe it's acting faster. Maybe it's building relationships long term and not thinking right now, getting the sale right now. Number 2, what am I not doing that successful people do that is preventing me from succeeding? So not doing this thing is preventing you from succeeding. I'm telling you, not sleeping early is preventing you from succeeding. Successful people actually do this, right? A lot of them sleep early and it works out extremely well for them. Try it. If you haven't, try it. Try sleeping at 8:30 p.m. Now, if you're right now sleeping at midnight, try at least sleeping at 10 p.m. already, right? So these 2 questions are extremely powerful. When you answer these questions, you can make a list of things that you need to do. And these will tell you exactly what you need to do to actually become the new person that is capable of achieving your goals effortlessly and being able to compete with people like Andrew Tate. Not necessarily beating them, but just being in the same level. Again, number 1, what am I doing that successful people don't do? And number 2, what am I not doing that successful people do? Answer these 2 questions, and let me tell you, the results will be insane. And by the way, comment down below if you think any of this is useful and which one you're going to use, right? Commit right now by writing it. If you write it down, you're actually going to be able to, it's a commitment thing, right? You have a psychological bias that if you write something down, you kind of have to act in coherence with the thing that you've just wrote down. And so you're going to have some kind of a dissonance. You're going to feel bad with yourself if you don't actually do it. This is why when you want a goal, you write it on paper, it is a lot more likely to actually become true. Number 9, what do I need to learn? Because sometimes the only thing preventing you, maybe you have all the traits, all the you sleep early, you're very disciplined, you go to the gym, you eat well, you do the things. Maybe you just lack a skill. Maybe you just need to learn something that is going to unlock a lot of opportunities. What do I need to learn in order for me to achieve my goals? I need to learn how to make sales. I need to learn how to deliver for my clients. I need to learn how to get appointments. I need to learn how to market. I need to learn how to network. I need to learn how to make videos. I need to learn how to speak, how to communicate, right? I need to learn this skill. I need to learn how to fight. I need to learn how to speak in front of the public. I need to learn how to choose the right courses and just whatever, right? What do you need to learn? And last thing I wrote down to myself is that your best motivation is your current situation. Because this when you realize where you are currently, this is going to make you angry. This is going to make you feel pain. And this pain is going to make you move. And this is the reason why, when you imagine yourself in the same room than Andrew Tate and all these successful people, and you become aware of where you're currently at. And this awareness makes you feel sick, makes you feel just ashamed, makes you feel like just so bad. Like, how could I be possibly so low, right? Maybe it's an ego thing, right? Sometimes a little bit of ego is good, right? Be like, just, how is this possible? Me, not like be here and they are so further ahead of me. How is this possible? I cannot accept that. And so I will no longer accept that. Once you get to this point, this is no longer acceptable. When you get to this place, you have unlimited motivation. But a better way to have unlimited motivation, because sometimes this fades away, especially when you are not able to constantly be around, like physically, people like this. You're not constantly going to imagine yourself you're in the same room than Andrew Tate, right? You can have these drivers, and Andrew Tate has these. I'm sure he has. And I realized this because I was listening to the podcast of Founders, on the Founders podcast on Quentin Tarantino. And he was saying on there, first of all, that the greatest in their fields always study history. And they deconstruct and analyze what made something great. And they're completely obsessed with that. So Quentin Tarantino was obsessed with movies since he was 7 to 10 years old, right? He was obsessed by movies. He was obsessed by knowing exactly what made this movie good, what made people feel something, how did other people view this movie. It was different than how he viewed the movie, and he deconstructed it, he analyzed it, and he knew what made this movie good. And so he loved doing this, right? And so the greats, just like Michael Jordan, he deconstructed what made the greatest basketball player. Kobe Bryant did this with Michael Jordan, right? He was saying, okay, how are his footsteps, right? How fast does he do this? Oh, he focuses on the foundation. Okay, what are the foundations he focuses on, right? And then he's able to put this and actually implement this. And he was also saying something very, very, very powerful that made me really realize what are my internal drivers. And you're going to be able to discover right now your internal drivers. And these are basically going to allow you to have unlimited motivation forever. But you gotta actually find them. And I'm going to tell you how. So, I'm going to read to you what I wrote down. This part made me realize I'm doing what I'm doing right now to feel like the business I'm growing right now and the thing I talk about here, all of this is just because I want to feel safe, free, powerful, strong, confident. Because when I was a kid, I felt in danger, weak, shy, imprisoned. I couldn't trust people. And Quentin Tarantino, for example, the movie Kill Bill, right? He said that this movie is an autobiography of him. And one line of this movie is like, yeah, I never knew my father. And this is because Quentin Tarantino never knew his father, right? And so this made me think, because the Founders host, I forgot his name, I think it's David. Anyway, he said that someone told him that all of what he's doing on the Founders podcast is finding a blueprint for success. And he was like, I know you're doing this because when you were a kid, you had no one in your family that was successful. You had no idea how to get there. And so right now you want to make sure you have a perfect blueprint and you're obsessed by this. Because when you were a kid, you didn't have this. And when he was a kid, Quentin Tarantino didn't have a father. So he was always looking for a father figure. And in all his movies, there's this, or maybe most of his movies, there's this search for charismatic guys, right? And in his life, he was looking for charismatic guys to look up to, for father figures. And so this made me ask myself this question. Let me give the exact question for you. So, what didn't I have in my childhood? Or what did I crave in my childhood? Because oftentimes what you become, what you want to become, is someone that that is free of the things that you didn't have when you were a kid. For example, you didn't have money when you were a kid. You're going to want to be rich, and this is the case for me. So for me, I was like, I want security right now, because I felt in danger all my life. I felt in danger, and I'm still paranoid, right? I feel in danger. This is why I don't want to talk about the money I make. That's why I don't want to. I don't want to show too much. I feel in danger very easily. Because when I was a kid, I felt like that. Because I was maybe strange. I didn't speak French when I got in school or something like that, right? And I felt like weird and different from anybody. Number two, I seek freedom, true freedom. And this is because I felt imprisoned and I suffered all my life. Like, all my life I felt imprisoned. I felt like a slave. And I hated it at the highest level. I hated school. At the highest level, I felt imprisoned, like truly. Like the people around me not only didn't want my best, but they imprisoned me. I didn't know when I was going to go back home and be free again. This is why I'm seeking so much freedom. And the freedom that I seek is extreme. It's not like, to me, being free, making $10,000 a month is not free, right? To me, this is not free. Making 100K per month is barely being free. Like, being truly free and successful, to me, this means being kind of at Andrew Tate level, right? This is what it truly means for me. And so this is because when I was a kid, I felt this imprisonment. I felt like I had no freedom. And I hated it. Number three, I wanted to become strong. Because I was weak and pushed around in school. And so I started doing push-ups when I was 12, right? Who starts doing like trying to do at least 100 push-ups every single day when he's 12? Someone that was very weak when he was a kid, right? And so I'm sure Andrew Tate was the same way. Right now he is strong, he's free, he's making a lot of money, he's got girls, and I'm sure he's got a lot of girls, right? And this is something like part of his brand almost. And I'm sure when he was a kid, I don't know, like 5 to 10, 12 years old, he didn't have all these things. He didn't have money. He was broke, right? And he was actually, I think. He didn't have the girls, right? He was weak. I think he could have been weak, right? Even though he became like a boxing champion and everything, right? It was like when he was a kid, I think he might have been weak. And so he had the desire to become stronger. And he's right now, maybe he's brave right now. And I'm sure he was afraid when he was a kid, right? And so for me as well, like, I want to become wealthy and powerful and independent because I was always broke and limited, powerless, dependent on other people, and I hated all these things at the highest level. And so right now I want to overcome for these, right? I want to get the things that I didn't have when I was a kid. And so these things, these 5 things that I listed right now, you can find these for you. What did you not have when you were a kid that you craved, that you wanted so bad? Once you realize all these things, you make a list. And now you have unlimited motivation. Right now, you can, every time you feel unmotivated, you feel like you're going to slack off a little bit, you remember these things. And you just, boom, you go off, you just, you have the desire to compete, you have the desire to be better and to actually get these things that you didn't have as a kid. And to do all of this, one of the best things to do is just to change your environment physically and be around new people. Because I realized, for example, I talked to a guy that I didn't know too much, and I talked with him for 45 minutes because the gym was closed, and I was like, okay, I have some time right now. I might as well like talk to someone, and he was there randomly. And this guy is a guy in business as well, and just speaking with him made me realize some things that I didn't know. Like he came up, like I got new information to achieve my goals and solve my problems because I talked to this guy. I talked to a new person, right? And so changing your environment and meeting new friends, new men around you if you're a guy, new like girls if you're a girl, but I don't think many girls watch this. And being in this new circle of people is going to allow you to have new information. So I'm going to try to actively find the time to be around more people, even though it's very hard for me because I sleep at 8:30 p.m. So at least I try to, right? Sometimes I sleep at 9:30. Anyway, and this guy so speaking with him, I was able, like, he almost saved me like tens of thousands of dollars right now. Just like right now, like just speaking with me. One thing he said, it was like you're in this tax bracket and you can do this and this, and then you don't have to, and this saved me a lot of money, right? And it saved me a percentage of money. And so it saved me a lot more when I'm going to get, like, to make my business double, triple, and I might save $100,000 just because of this discussion, right? So this is very useful. Put yourself around other people and not just digitally, right? You can seek new information online. It's good. But physical connections is something that you cannot replicate. It's something that's different. This is why when you really imagine yourself and you are able almost to feel that you are in the presence of Andrew Tate and be in this kind of room, you feel different than when you watch videos. When you watch videos, you almost feel like it's your friend, right? It's not. It's different. When you see people in real life, you realize things that you don't realize online. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this episode, share it with someone. This is your duty right now. You have someone that you think it might help that you think this might help them. I'm getting tired here. Share it with them, and I'll see you in the next one. And if you want to become truly free and successful, I really suggest you subscribe because this is going to be for you. And appreciate you. Take care.